Shawn Mendes came from a slew of teen artists in the 2010s and has shown longevity being a top pop act. From first look, he seems like the classical male pop star. He has hordes of female fans and he's known for his love songs. Though in recent years, Mendes has been changing his look and verbiage, further fanning the flames of people questioning his sexuality. In this video, we'll be talking about why people think Shawn is part of the Rainbow Mafia, how it can affect his brand, particularly his sex appeal, and how his contemporaries like Styles maneuvers with the same aesthetics with less grief. I've been aware of Shawn Mendes since he debuted. I've been more of a casual onlooker though. I mainly just knew about his hits and I never really paid attention to him or his albums until Wonder came out. But anyways, when he came out, he had this clear cut to him. Your classic pop star with a guitar who crooned love songs. He had this massive female following. But in my opinion, he was too cookie cutter back then. I also noticed that he had very feminine ways about him, mainly his high voice. But he was a kid after all, so what do you expect? But overall, I feel like he had this very feminine energy about him, and I wasn't the only one to notice. Like, straight from the gate, people had been labeling Mendes as gay. Now, I felt sorry for him back then, mainly because he was a minor and the whole world was forcing this perception on him. But I always felt like maybe he was gay or bi, never falling straight. And I understand that speculating on someone's sexuality is harmful, but we're talking about how other people perceive his sexuality, which I guess is kind of like this weird murky gray area, but I don't mean any offense. Anyways, fast forward to 2019 to now, Shawn has been revamping his look. And during his Wonder era, he adopted this 50s casual look. Mendes was rocking knitted polos and trousers, and he had longer hair, all of which reminded me kind of stuff that Harry Styles would wear and would look. But anyways, I noticed that during his performances during this era, he had painted his nails. So to me, this signaled, yes, kind of creeping into this androgynous type look, which I personally liked. I noticed this more in the rock emo punk spaces. I've seen white rappers kind of adopt this fluid look, and you know, black rappers have been doing similar things, if that's what you can call it. I don't know. This Gen Z androgyny reminds me of glam rock just in general, like from the 80s. Now, from the little I've read about glam rock, the main reason from what I read that rock artists participated in glam was because in the 80s, music was becoming more visual. You know, since the rise of the music video and TV channels dedicated to showcasing these music videos, artists started to invest in the looks of their brand and their sound, and especially the music videos. So, you know, when artists would go on stage just to amp up the performance, they would put on this crazy makeup and wigs and, you know, stuff like that. Especially in the music videos, they did it to also attract more attention. And well, that's just like one take on it. I'm sure there's multiple other reasons as to why people participated in glam, but that's just one of the reasons as to why glam was such a thing back then. I feel like the appeal of these androgynous boys, or the soft boys, or the feminine ones, they're very comfortable to be around. They're less threatening, so there's that. Which for me, when I was in my anime phase, I love the soft boys, I love the very feminine ones, because I thought that the feminine aspects of the guys made them more refined. They were clean, sensitive, and they were kind. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all watch anime, especially back in the early 2000s, like there was always like the manly guy and always like the soft boy feminine. Y'all know. So yeah, with this whole Gen Z androgynous gender fluid look, I can't pinpoint where this came from particularly, but with more queer representation in the media, with more conversations about gender identity and sexual romantic attraction and feminism, I feel like that certainly has affected how people present themselves today. The leading men today are, you know, Tom Holland and Timothée Chalamet. Both these guys aren't what you see as manly men per se. Rather, they're seen as someone or people that are more in tune with their sensitive sides. They're more pretty boys, you know? Nowadays, it's not unusual to see guys wearing more feminine clothing or to express their femininity more to highlight those aspects of themselves. I read an article by Tristan Bridges called "A Very Gay Straight Hybrid Masculinity, Sexual Aesthetics, and Changing the Relationship Between the Masculinity and Homophobia" that led me to believe that what we're seeing today is that some of these hetero white males are adopting more queer looks and lingo to revamp their allure rather than continuing with the boring white straight male archetypes that we all know too well today. Some partake in this queer look to signify that they are safe to be around for women, or they have a softer look to differentiate themselves from their toxic misogynist counterparts. All of this is to attract women, which I find really interesting. You're participating in something that's queer and gay in order to do something that's straight. But it just really reminds me of how some of these white guys literally use aspects of Black culture, cultural appropriation, if you will, and they really try to revamp themselves to be, you know, more edgier or more interesting to be around. Like, it didn't occur to me that people could do this with queer culture too. But yes, anyways, so when Shawn partook in this revamp, you know, expressing himself with more colors and, you know, longer hair, earrings, the nails, I think he was signifying or trying to project this really good guy image. But I think it made people think of him as being like a member of the Rainbow Mafia. Instead of just a straight guy trying to make himself look more appealing to women, it just ended up being, you look queer. You look like you could be into girls too, but you look like you could definitely be into all other types of people, so it hits different. You know what I mean? So I've always wondered how people questioning his sexual attraction, how this would affect his sex appeal, and it seems like it hasn't much. From Mendes' new doc and from all the live shows that I've seen, he still has a lot of female fans, even without the gay speculations. Though I wonder how supportive those female fans would be if they saw Shawn with a male lover, if he did play fluid or for that other team or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I wonder. I know Harry Styles openly came out as, you know, being sexually fluid in the Guardian interview. The interviewer had asked him about his sexuality being blurred like his fashion. Yep, if anything, the 25-year-old star admitted he's sort of baffled why anyone is interested. Yeah, I think I do mean that. It's not like I'm sitting on an answer and protecting it and holding it back, he said of his sexuality. I'm not a case of, I'm not telling you, I don't want to tell you, oh, this is mine and it's not yours. It's who cares? Does this make sense? He continued. It's just who cares? But you never see Harry with another guy. I don't think we've progressed as a society to see our huge male pop acts come out with a male love interest or to express themselves fully in that way. Sure, we had the Santanas, the Saucy Santanas, the Lil Nas X's, the Frank Oceans, Joshua Bassett's, and Conan, but I have yet to see them with a male partner out and proud. Sure, they might be private. You know, you could just say, oh, maybe they just want to keep their relationships to themselves. But I also think that they're worried about how it could affect their careers. They still have to get the bag. So in Styles' case, he plays up the side to him that the hetero majority would be okay with. That's how he can still be as popular as he is and still wear all those different types of clothes. And, you know, as long as he makes sure there's always a woman on his arm and he makes sure to put out songs that cater to women, you know, the public would still rock with him. That's why I think Harry kind of slides on by missing all this grief and all this hate, because he's confirmed people's suspicions about his sexuality, saying that he's fluid, and he played up the female lover rocker archetype, while Mendes is catching a lot of flack for just being someone who seems gay. I don't know. There's also this attitude where people are annoyed about Shawn not coming out, and they're like tired of speculating, so they just want him to confirm the suspicions and come out already, which I'm like, if y'all are so progressive, why do you need him to explain himself? You know what I mean? And we don't know what he is. First off, it's funny when Shawn sings, I can see the masculine side very clearly, and I like the view very much, but when he isn't on stage, I notice the feminine energy and all the allure is kind of gone from me from there. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. This subject was really fascinating for me, enough for me to talk about it. So, you know, just put in your 2 cents. You know, comment down below, like, whatever.